Hello everyone, welcome back to the SMITE Khepri Joust guide. This is obviously your host Professor Reha, and let's see how this goes today. Now, last episode we had an absolutely crushing victory because my teammates played really well, the Cuchulainn built to perfection, and the enemy team simply did not counter-build at all according to our composition. Now, I'm going to be somewhat interested in what my teammates actually pick here. That'll be fairly interesting. Team comp is substantially more important in Joust because it is just you have fewer people to work with, so it's a lot more important that you combo. It's not as important in Conquest or any of the other modes really, because with a 5v5 situation somebody else can pick up the slack if somebody dies or something, but in Joust you don't have that luxury. You simply don't have the kind of manpower to really make that work. Now, this is going to be interesting. Last episode, I should rather say, because that was not necessarily my last match, but last episode, we did have the tankier side, and this time we definitely have a more aggressive team comp with the damaging Ram and Puch, and the enemy team is basically Tiamat can pick one of the two. Either Tiamat can play a bit more hybrid, or the Tiamat can play pure damage. It'll be really interesting to see how Tiamat builds. We are going to go right on ahead into... I don't think I'll necessarily need Tainted Steel here. I think Sentinel's Gift would be the move here. I am going to go into Gauntlet of Thebes once again. It is just very strong in this mode. I might overall do the full... I might do the full auras again. I'm not sure. Or I might try to go full auras again. It's really going to depend on how this all goes down. It might actually be worth me picking up Mystical Mail, because that will really help me against the little lizards that Tiamat can summon, and also the Minotaur thing that she can summon as well. I could see that being potentially useful there, as well as helping me against Cabrakan if he decides to start ground slamming, and that would provide me with just a little bit of tickling to Cabrakan. So it's something I'll have to consider. Definitely. So we'll definitely be seeing about that. I want to definitely be checking that. They're just undoing their mana, so we're a little ahead of them. Probably, mostly, actually entirely because of Upwash, to be honest. That's what I was waiting for, was his ground slams. And that's what I wanted to see. What is Tiamat doing? It looks like damage so far, but that could change. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Tiamat's one of those gods you really want to keep a very close eye on, because she can do basically whatever she wants, build-wise, and still remain very effective. There's not a whole lot of gods that can do that, but she is definitely one of them. So, yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on her build. Just to make sure that we're not, I don't know, falling asleep at the wheel there. They're clearly way too early on that. Oh, they're going for the experience, I see. Bring it on. Come on.
Be right back. Retreat.
Okay. I'm glad he told me. I was not paying full attention to the map at that time, so that was a really good call out. I want to just make sure that they don't jump in on Ram. I can see the Cabrakan trying some funny business, so to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I'm playing a little bit back. I want to kind of lure out the Cabrakan, because if I can do that... Okay, he walked right back into that. You are really getting aggressive with this. Hold on. Wait a minute. Clear the main wave. Give Cabrakan something to work with. The Cabrakan's a fairly aggressive player, which makes a lot of sense. He is their support. Now, the interesting thing here is that his team hesitated a little bit that first time. Okay, yeah. What do you mean, okay? What are you talking about, guy? It's not that big of a deal, honestly. Much to do about nothing. Okay, good, they've covered that all. I'm gonna let him solo that. I don't need to go back yet. He had 2 other shots. Why didn't he shoot the other 2 shots at Cabrakan? I don't think I haven't played ROM in a very long time. I don't remember how long the range is on that, and I also don't know 100%. I had some kind of issue there with my game. I'm not really sure what that was about, but okay. Anyways, I don't really remember if he could have reached Cabrakan at that point. I'm not sure. Oh, he's got tainted steel. That's interesting. Why do you have tainted steel there, Cabrakan? That's fine. I should have run closer to him. Should have not. I should have actually ulted him. I was not quite on top of that as I could have been. I'm just getting too aggressive. I think he's getting mad over something. I'm not really sure what. I need to go back and buy Gauntlet of Thebes. Alright, for a second I thought I was being attacked or something, but nah. Alright, so I've Gauntlet of Thebes, and I need to start building those stacks, and I need to decide how I want to approach this. Very specifically. Considering Tiamat's passive with her... Okay, there, she is going to be using the minions. Alright, that's interesting. Ah, it was a miss, but that's okay. Wasn't a whole lot I was going to be able to do with that either way. Nope. Shell, that was a good shell. And he makes it out of that. Interesting. Yep. Alright. They're still here. Shoot her. Oh man, okay, good, he did shoot her, that's good. Oh, I missed. It wouldn't have mattered, I didn't have the mana to Rising Dawn anyways. I hit that grab though, which was pretty important. That was pretty nice. Alright, into reinforced shoes, and then I have to decide if I actually want to go into Mystical Mail or no. That's going to be the serious question here. Well, first off, how much healing are they going into? Not a whole lot. They don't have any natural healing, so I don't need to worry about Pestilence or Contagion right this moment. How am I going to interact with this? Well, to counteract... No, that wouldn't really work. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I suppose I might try it. I might try to counteract Cabrakan's rather impressive passive by just absolutely spamming auras everywhere as much as I can. Okay, that's going to be an ambush right there. Yep. Not surprised he did that. I wasn't sure if he was going to prevent me from dragging in Tiamat or if he was going to go after Rom. He chose me. It was a 50-50. I wasn't sure how that was going to go down. I was pretty sure if he went after Rom was going to be okay for the time being anyways. Okay. Oh, I just walked right into that again. Okay. Uh-huh. Alright. She's probably going to use her acid spray. No, she does not. Alright. I'm going to try something a little interesting here. Nope, she anticipated that, and she made the right move. Okay. Alright, I can't really do much here. I don't have any mana or health. Help. I have no mana, guy. Help. My goodness. Have a little bit of awareness of what your support is doing. That's not what I need. I need... Considering how aggressive the ROM is, we are going to absolutely be going into full auras here. I don't think they're going to be going for that. No. They would need Medusa there for that. Why did he go there? What do you mean, help? I was way over there, warding the Bull Demon. What do you want from me? My goodness. I need you to clear the minion wave. Alright. You're just going to be upset for no reason. Doing the best I can. I cannot be everywhere. I also need more communication. Opwa should not have been there when I was in left jungle, and he knew I was going to left jungle too. So that's not really feasible there. Are they not going for that? No, they're not. Alright. Where is Medusa, though? These are the questions that I must ask myself. This is a good fight. Medusa's nowhere to be seen. There she is. Probably should have pushed that a little bit more. Okay. Ah! Oh, that was not a good death. I didn't need to die there. I had my shell up, I just couldn't hit it in time. There's also the distinct possibility that they're throwing, since they seem to be, for some reason, abnormally upset with me for... I'm not really sure why. That wasn't a bad run. He can take Cabrakan easy. That was good, that was good. Need to get over there quick and see if I can ult him in time. Okay, nope. And they're probably going to blame me, which is fair enough. I did not play that very well. That was definitely my fault. At the start there, I should not have been that far up. Once I used my abilities, I should have been backing up way faster than what I was doing. So that one is on me. I should have probably... if I'd shelled earlier, I would have been fine. But I did not. I did not shell in time. The CC trained me. I'll build Sob next, and then after that, what do we build? They still don't have that much lifesteal. Only so far Medusa has lifesteals, so I'm not really yet sure that I want to build anti-heal. So... there's Cabrakan. They're going for... I was going to say... oh, no, the Tiamat can just absorb the damage buff without necessarily needing to actually directly get it. We're going to attack him or not? That's most of his crowd control, which... there we go. Shell a little early there. I probably shouldn't have shelled there, to be honest, but... that. But I have the magic protections I need now to mostly ward off the blows and the slings and arrows of Tiamat. Good. I don't know how I got that, but alright. Good enough. I did not intend to grab that. I did not intend to kill her there, but we do in fact still have to kill. Good, he picked that up. That's good. Now they just need to push down the tower, and we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and grab Blink. This team is fairly aggressive. My teammates are fairly aggressive, so I want to be able to blink in if I need to. Purchase Sovereignty. Alright, so I'm going to want, let me see. Yeah, I might go into, at least temporarily, I might go into Stone of Binding. This is a pretty good situation for that. The enemy team isn't really building any protections except for Cabrakan, and it will help at least slightly counteract Cabrakan's aura for at least a little while. I'm not necessarily 100% sure it's the move to make. I may need to think about this for a bit more. to make sure that they're not going for the Bull Demon. But I really need his cooldown. Okay, yeah, they are thinking about Bull Demon at this point, so I'm going to have to start sentry warding this. That's Tiamat on the other side there. I know we need wards. I don't know who's going to do that, but that's fine, because now they are all trapped right there. Look at that. Free real estate. Behold the power of heavy amounts of auras. I'm on it. She seemed immune to that. Alright, fair enough. Go, 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 go. No? Alright. You gonna follow me? You are gonna follow me. Or not. Is he gonna be able to take that? No. I can take this. Oh, they no longer called the Bull Demon King, it's just the Demon King? Alright. Interesting. I'm going back with this. I need to inform the Poch of that. They seem to have an issue there with that. Let me see here. What do I really need? Next. That's a good question. I'm gonna go ahead and build spectral armor because I am somewhat concerned about the crits of the Medusa. So we're gonna go ahead and build that preemptively. Probably Genji's Guard right afterwards should work just fine. Actually, he's dead.
Enemy ultimate down. Enemy ultimate down. Enemy ultimate down.
I can't tell if they're together, if they're even seriously toxic. I can't tell. I have no idea what's going on. I missed that completely. Okay, go ahead, stun me. There you go. Missed that. Interesting. I'm surprised you blinked that. That was maybe not the career move. That was, she didn't accomplish anything with that, so it was essentially a waste of her blink there. Nope. Denied. And dead. Excellent. I believe she just dashed, so this should be fine. You know what, I can actually tank this. Why? Did you just not see me? What is that? Really? I didn't need that, but that's alright. Ah, now she beats. Okay. Good, good, we can kill her. He's dead, but I can't really do anything about that. Did he beat that, or what? He can't kill me. Oh, there he goes. Spectral armor, definitely. My next move, I'll need to sell my shoes. Yeah, I'll definitely grab Genji's Guard for some cooldown and some MP5. The MP5 isn't hugely important at this particular juncture. Because of Cabrakan, my abduct is definitely of more, or quasi of more significance, because I can interrupt a lot of his abilities, I can root him. I will obviously be wanting more cooldowns as well. Overall, yeah, this should be fine. This should be fine. He's not going into auto attacks. Now, I would normally... some people are probably thinking to themselves, why isn't he building Witchblade? But the only time that Cabrakan actually cares about his attack speed is when he's trying to stun you. And only one of his stuns uses his auto attack, and once he stuns you, his auto attacks don't matter at that point. So it's actually kind of useless to reduce Cabrakan's attack speed, unless he's actually building attack speed damage, which is weird. Not something I necessarily encourage you to do on Cabrakan, but you could do that. I just don't see why you would want to. I should have built a sentry ward. How silly of me. Just want to make sure they're not doing anything weird. Okay, here we go. Good. Alright. I'm attacking. I need you to keep up with me. That was interesting. That was a good counterattack. That was a good counterattack. Can we not? What do you mean, okay? You're the one who's diving into their Titan and everything. Excuse me? Nope. You will not be doing that. We absolutely won. Not even a problem. That was a weird match. I'm not really sure what the problem with my allies were. They were definitely skilled. I'm not going to say that they were unskilled. A bit too aggressive. I can't tell if they were being seriously toxic or if they were just... I don't know. It was very odd. I'm not really sure what's actually going on here. I will commend them because I'm not 100% sure. Not really sure what the heck that deal was. I'm not sure how serious that was, if I'm just reading it wrong. I have absolutely zero idea. I'll go ahead and say GG and see what they say in response. But let's talk about that match. Now, like I just discussed, the two people that I was with were very high level, definitely. A little too aggressive at times. The Oposh dying. Oposh's first death was because he was way out of position. I was in the left jungle. I was visibly in the left jungle, and I was visibly going into the left jungle, and there was no reason Oposh needed to be where he was. The same thing happened with Rom diving under the Phoenix. That was fairly interesting. And diving under the Titan, it was also fairly interesting. I was tanking the Titan, yes, so he had the ability to do that to some extent. And my ult was up, yes, but it was an unnecessarily high-risk move, and we just needed to kill the Titan at that point. And Rom focusing out the enemy gods was simply trying to improve his score, rather than trying to accomplish the actual goal here of, you know, winning the game. The Tiamat overall built pretty well. The Tiamat was also a bit too aggressive. I think that's really what Tiamat's main problem was, because Tiamat's actual itemization was overall fine. There's one thing I want to talk about, though, but first, before we get to that, the Conduit Gem was great. Conduit Gem is pretty good on Tiamat. Spear Desolation, excellent on Tiamat. Power, a little bit of flat penetration, which is good for the early game. 10% cooldown reduction, which is just useful all the time. Great passive, this is fantastic on Tiamat. Shoes of Focus, another amazing item. More cooldown reduction, which you really want to see, that's great. Rod of Tahuti, I'm not, again, this is a personal preference thing. I'm not a huge fan of this on Tiamat. I don't think Tiamat really uses the basic attack portion of this that often, but on the other hand, Tiamat does have basically, like, what, 7 abilities? Maybe, it depends on whether or not you consider the ultimate 3 different abilities or 1 different ability. But she's got the 2 different forms that use the other 3 abilities each, so that's 6 abilities there. So she's got, depending on your count, 7 to 9 abilities, and so that does, all of those obviously take huge advantage of Rod of Tahuti. It is amazing for that reason. It's not my personal preference. And besides the fact I think Obshard is actually a better penetration item for Tiamat anyways, but given our team comp, Rom was clearly building heavy amounts of lifesteal, Leather Cowl, and Devourer's Gauntlet. Oposh has the self-heal with the dead bodies, but wasn't actively using it. So there is a possible argument that Divine Ruin should have been 4th and Rod of Tahuti 5th, but that's a really tough call to make. Rom was the only one doing really consistent amounts of self-heal, so while normally in this particular scenario I would say, hey, yeah, that's, I mean, yes, Oposh had 12% lifesteal from Spear of the Magus, but 12% isn't a whole lot off of abilities, and when you also stop to consider the fact that this was clearly built for the passive more than the, well, built more for the passive than the lifesteal, then you can definitely see where Tiamat probably wasn't quite as immediately concerned with Alposh's self-heal, so this one's the debate between Rod of Tahuti or Divine Ruin first is something that is purely a matter of speculation and personal opinion. I personally would have gone with Divine Ruin fourth, but again, that is a personal preference. This isn't necessarily wrong, given how my team was playing. The Medusa was fairly interesting in that she goes Transcendence, then into, she gets Leather Cowl for the lifesteal and attack speed, Transcendence, Ninja Tabi, Rage, Executioner, and clearly was going into Wind Demon. Now, what confuses me a little bit, and I'm aware of the fact that this is probably a build somewhere, I don't pay too much attention to Hunter builds. I kind of see the meta because there's not a whole lot of variation in Hunter builds a lot of the time. Hunters build like 3 different ways. I haven't seen this specific variation before, so I don't know if this is something that Publix Chicken was trying out for the first time, or if this is something that's just worked in Joust for them before, or if this is just what people are building in Joust for Hunters. I don't really know. This isn't one of the pre-established 3 Hunter builds that I know of off the top of my head. Leather Cowl, there's obviously similarities between some of these, especially the critical versions, but Rage was a bit of an interesting choice. That is built sometimes, yes, but Deathbringer is usually what's next. The Executioner was very interesting. Overall, it's a very curious build. I'm actually not 100% sure what to make of this specifically. Transcendence is obviously really nice on Medusa. Leather Cowl was interesting because you have the lifesteal there and the crits to take advantage of it, but it's so little lifesteal that it's very odd. There was an attack speed boost here, Rage, Executioner, which is fine. Now see, I'm actually fine with Medusa. You'll notice that I haven't been talking a whole lot about penetration this match. That's because neither Ram nor Alposh have abnormally high amounts of protections. I was the only one who did. Now, it occurs to me that Medusa might have been building for for auto attacks because of me. Because if I abduct Medusa, and Medusa's going for an ability build, which she can do a physical mage type idea, you can build her 2 different ways. She might have gone into the attack speed, the default, the auto attack focus build to specifically counteract me ulting her. Now, you don't normally want to abduct Medusa anyways a lot of the time because those poison snakes really hurt. The danger noodles of doom are a serious problem and they can slap. But I had better targets anyways. Tiamat was much more important to abduct and Cabrakan was more important to root. You'll have noticed throughout that match that I didn't make a whole lot of attempts on Medusa. She's just too dangerous and too slippery, even in Joust, for me to feasibly try to get her. So the Executioner being built really late wasn't so much of a big problem, considering our team composition. So, Cabrakan, I am a little curious as to why the Tainted Steel. This somewhat assumes that Ram is going to build Lifesteal, which is a fairly safe assumption, and that Alposh is going to be healing off of his corpses enough to make this worthwhile, which I don't think that second one happened. Alposh uses the corpses occasionally for self-heal, but it wasn't very often. And it wasn't for very much either, since that is a percentage of Alposh's maximum health that the corpses heal you for, and he didn't have a whole lot of maximum health. Where is his health? Yeah, he only had 1675s, which is very, very small amounts of health. The Void Stone I can understand to some extent, because it helps him and Tiamat. Reinforced Shoes is great. On Cabrakan, this is pretty good on Cabrakan, especially because Cabrakan obviously gets the benefit of his own passive aura, and his passive aura, for reference, provides everyone in range of that aura, including Cabrakan himself, with a 5% damage mitigation, which is better late game, obviously, but the Reinforced Shoes can help supplement that. So that's actually really nice. Now, the reason why I don't really have a huge problem with Voidstone, despite its relative questionable usage here, is that we had 2 magic damage people on the team, myself and Alposh, and although I barely count for damage, it was a decent pickup against Alposh, especially since this would also allow Tiamat to hit a little bit harder. So I can see where that's coming from. Hide of the Enemy and Lion is the one that really is quite curious to me. Now, I don't necessarily have a base problem with Hide of the Enemy and Lion itself. That's not my issue. You see, Cabrakan has like I just mentioned earlier, a 5% damage mitigation on him at all times. So, blocking auto attacks isn't nearly as important for him. He can just reduce the damage output in other ways, either by increasing his protections or by getting more damage mitigation in there, which there are a couple of different ways you can do, etc. He had options. Now, this turned out to be the correct move simply by merit of the fact that Rama built chin size, which, by the way, is a great pickup against this enemy comp. This is fantastic. If Tiamat has that damage mitigation, her scales going, which she does about half the time, this is great. Cabrakan's aura, obviously, Zeus's aura, although this damage from chin size obviously is affected by that 5%, it is affected less because it is technically a separate damage proc, so it does allow Rom to kind of counteract Cabrakan's damage mitigation to some extent by replacing the damage lost on the main attack with some bonus damage. The Pestilence, I totally understand. I understand why it was built here and why it was built at this point. You know, it was after Puch had Spear of the Magus. Rom obviously had a fully stacked Devourer's Gauntlet. I don't know what this could have been. There are a lot of definitely interesting ideas. I personally would bet that it was Chronos Pendant, because the cooldowns is what Cabrakan really didn't have at that time. And then I would have been really interested to see what Tainted Steel would have become. But that is all fairly unimportant. Overall, the match itself went well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my teammates were genuinely toxic or if that was just some kind of weird joke. I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue what that was about. But that is all that I really have to say about this match. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, what have you, suggestions, I believe I said that, leave them down in the comments below. And have a great 24 hours.